Algebra, we are continuing PO52. Burgess, take out your binder. Please sit flat. Griffin, binder out. Okay, let's get ready to roll here. Sophie, thank you. Cole, open it up. Johnny. PO52, we went through this first one on Thursday. That's as far as we got because it is a pretty involved process. There's a lot of things going on. We kind of cheat math a little bit in step 4, and we fix it step 5. These are key points. I didn't put the key points symbol in here, but you can write these steps on a help sheet. You just can't have actual examples. Jeffrey, PO52 is where we're at. Just open it on up. All right. So let's start with this one here: 6x squared plus 16x minus 6. Step 1, and you can follow along up the top of the page. Step 1 is factor out that greatest common factor. Okay. And what is the greatest common factor of 6, 16, and 6? Abby? 2. Okay. And remember here, when we take out that 2, what we're doing is we're dividing each term by 2. Okay. We pull out that 2. We factor out that greatest common factor. We're dividing each term by whatever the GCF, in this case 2, is. So our 2 goes on the outside of parentheses, because we've taken that out. Take a 2 out of 6x squared, you're left with 3x squared. Take a 2 out of 16x, you're left with 8x. And take a 2 out of negative 6, you're left with negative 3. Okay? And one way to check yourself to see if you've done this correctly is distribute that 2 back in. You should get the original expression, right? 2 times 3x squared, 6x squared, 2 times 8x, 16x, 2 times negative 3, negative 6. Okay? And reason why we do this is to make our numbers a little bit smaller. Okay? And also with factoring, right, we're looking for what multiplies to make our original expression. That 2 is a part of this. 2 times and then whatever we have in there. And now we want to focus on what's inside of our parentheses. So we actually kind of ignore this, okay? And we're now focused on what we have. Step 2, multiply that A and C term together. Now what's the A term and what's the C term? Well, remember, these are written in AX squared plus BX plus C form. So that A term is your coefficient to x squared, that's 3. Your C term is your constant, that's negative 3. And the reason why it's helpful to cross that original expression out is because you don't want to go back to that. Once you pull out that greatest common factor, your A and C come from your new set of parentheses here. Okay? And what is 3 times negative 3? Negative 9. Right? And why that negative 9 is important is because now in step 3, we set up that number puzzle. Right? We're looking for 2 numbers that add to equal our middle term, which is 8. And those same 2 numbers multiply to equal our negative 9 that we got in step 2. And what's the magic combination? What's that? Okay. Well, since they have to multiply to be 9, that's where we want to start. There's only a certain number of ways to get to 9. We're either looking at 1 and 9 or 3 and 3. Right? 8, there's an infinite number of ways to add to be 8. It could be 7 and 1, 6 and 2, 5 and 3, 4 and 4. Okay? But the multiplication is where you want to look at. And which of those factor pairs can we use to get positive 8? Jay?
1 and 9.
And how do we, sorry, go ahead.
Negative 1 and 9.
Negative 1 and positive 9. Right? Negative 1 plus 9 is 8. Negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. That's the same number puzzle that you solved in PO51, only the difference is we have to include that A term, okay, because now it has a coefficient, and we do that by multiplying A and C together. Okay? Now step 4, we start to set our parentheses up, and here's where we cheat a little bit, okay? Because really it matters which set gets the negative 1 and which set gets the positive 9. But we can kind of work around that by starting both sets of parentheses the same. And who remembers what we do start each set with? That 2 GCF goes out in front, right? That's kind of drops on down. But in our parentheses, what do we start each step with, Abby?
AX.
The AX term, which in this case is 3x. Don't include the squared, but both terms give, or both sets of parentheses get that 3x. And since we're starting in the same, now it doesn't matter which one gets the -1 and which one gets the +9, because they're the same either way. Okay? But again, we kind of cheated by doing that, because you can see if we FOIL crab claw box this, 3x times 3x doesn't get us to what we originally started with. Okay? So, how do we fix it? Step 5. Step 5, we simplify either or both sets of the parentheses. We essentially put an extra 3 in here, so now we're going to take that 3 out. And so, can you simplify 3 and 1? No, there's no greatest common factor between 3 and 1. Jeffrey,
I know the answer.
go for it.
1 and 3.
What do you mean?
If you're simplifying the 3 and 9.
Yes. So the 3 and 9 you can simplify by taking out a 3, divide by 3, divide by 3, and as Jeffrey said, what you're left with now, our 2 didn't change, our 3x minus 1 didn't change, but now instead of 3x plus 9, 3 divided by 3 is 1, or just x, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. And now if you FOIL crab claw box this, you'll find that 3x times x is 3x squared. This gives us 9x. This is -1x, and 9 minus 1 is +8. And -1 times 3, -3. You distribute the 2 back in there, and you'll get what you originally had. But this is as far as you need to go there. Whew! That's a lot. Okay? That's a lot. Abby.
Does it matter if like you put like the 3 minus 1 over? Like, you like swap them?
No, if yours is 2 times x plus 3 times 3x minus 1, that's okay. That's okay. And again, question was asked, as it always is, and I appreciate this. What are we doing this for? Why do we care? When we get further into parabolas, we'll be doing what's called solving a parabola, which is finding the x-intercepts of the parabola, and factoring is one way you can find the x-intercepts of a parabola. Questions on this? Okay, let's do another one together here. 15x squared plus x minus 2. Step 1, factor out that greatest common factor. What is the GCF of 15? Remember, this is a 1 here. No, it's not written. What's the GCF of 15, 1, and -2? 1. And factoring out a 1, is that really going to do anything? No. So in this case, there is no greatest common factor, and so we can skip step 1 completely. Okay? And we move immediately to step 2. So now I'm not going to cross that out because we're actually using that here. We couldn't make anything new. In step 2, we're multiplying a and c together. Go ahead and do that, and then set up your number puzzle. And see if you can get through step 3, where you're multiplying a and c together, and then setting up that number puzzle. If you need it, there's to get you started. There's your a and c term. And here's what your number puzzle should look like. That -30 we get from step 2, that's where this is used. Immediately again in step 3. And what did you come up with? What did you come up with? What's the solution to this number puzzle here? Curtis?
6 and -5.
6 and -5. 6 plus -5 is positive 1. 6 times -5 is -30. Okay? Now, this was step 3, by the way. Step 4, again, here's where we start to set this up, but we have to cheat a little bit. Okay? Because it does matter which one gets the 6, which one gets the -5, unless our two sets of parentheses start the same. And how are we going to start each set of parentheses here? 15x. Okay? That's the A term. And now since they start the same, it doesn't matter which one gets the positive 6 and which one gets the -5. So we cheated, but we did it for a reason. Does that make it better? I don't know. But now we fix it, right? So in step 5, we take that extra 15 out. We put an extra 15 in, we're going to take an extra 15 out. And we do that by simplifying. What can we divide 15 and 6 by here? 3. Okay? Divide by 3, divide by 3. That gives us 5x plus 2. Right? 15 divided by 3 is 5. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay? And then what can we simplify the second step by? 5. Right? And what's the way that we can kind of check to make sure that we are correct here? What's the mathematical connection? How it all fits together that tells us, yes, we've done this correctly.
I took 3 times 5.
Yeah, these two numbers that you simplify by, they should multiply to equal that extra 15 that we put in. We put an extra 15 in, we take a 15 out by dividing by 1 by 3 and dividing 1 by 5. And so that's going to give us 3x minus 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3x. -5 divided by 5 is -1. And if we FOIL, we crab claw, we box this, we're going to get the original expression. Okay? There's no GCF to worry about because we didn't factor one out in step 1 anyway. And so that will be our final answer. How's our comfort level? You've seen 3 of them now. This one, hopefully you're able to kind of follow along and put the pieces in here as we're working through it. So what's our overall comfort level here? 7. I hope that's out of like 10 and not of 100.
Yeah,
out of 10, good.
You need 7.
Out of 100, 7 out of 100? Well, okay, it could be worse. Right?
Wow.
So it was a 6 or a 5. Okay, I want you to try the next one. Flip the page. These first 2 don't have greatest common factors, kind of easing you into a little bit. So on both of these, step 1 where you factor out that GCF, there isn't one. So you can jump straight to step 2, which is the AC, multiply A and C, number puzzle, set it up, okay? Make sure you're paying attention on the simplifying step, step 5. That's the one that most kids forget to do. I mean, not to say most kids. Most kids that make a mistake, it's usually in step 5. They forget to simplify, right? But give it a shot. And we'll pause the video, and then we will give you a chance, and then we'll talk about it. All right? So, with no GCF, we can go straight to step 2, which is multiply that A and C term together, which in this case is 2 and 7, and that gets us 14. So then, we're looking at our number puzzle, step 3, 2 numbers that add to be 15, and those same 2 numbers multiply equal that A term or that AC term we got from step 2, that 14. So didn't get that, fix it. Okay, pick up from here. solve that number puzzle. Again, we're looking at that 14. There's only a certain number of opportunities or a certain number of options that work for the 14. 1 and 14, 2 and 7. Which one gives us 15? Let's see, 1 and 14. So 1 plus 14 is 15. 1 times 14 is 14. So that's what we're going to use. Right. The setup, step 4 now. No GCF to put in front, but we're going to start our parentheses the same. They both get that 2x, that a term from up here. And then one of them gets the 1. The other one gets the 14. We cheated a little bit, but we're going to fix it. But since we put an extra 2 in, we're now going to simplify what we can to take that 2 back out. And we can do that in our second set by dividing both by 2. And so that gives us the final answer of 2x plus 1 and x plus 7. Foil that, crab claw that, box that, you're going to get the original trinomial. Success? Kind of? Any questions on which step you got stuck on, or yeah? On the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come over and I'll help you individually. So for tomorrow, I would like you to do the next 2, neither of which, actually do the next 3. This one does not have a greatest common factor. This one does not have a greatest common factor. This one does. Okay, so you will need to do step 1 there. So 2 of them without a GCF, 1 of them with a GCF. See what you can do. And that'll be homework for tomorrow. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, compliments, congratulations, or criticisms?
Congratulations.
Thank you, Johnny. Anybody else?